Hello, welcome to another edition of Savva Talks Spurs. I am very excited about tonight's show. I have the wonderful, the honest Pete on the show. Pete, how are you, my friend?
I'm all right, mate. How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm better off than yesterday, put it that way.
Yes, yeah. Listen, that is exactly where I was going to start. But for anyone who doesn't know, Pete is in. Pete and I have been in a Spurs WhatsApp group for years and years together. He brings sense and order to conversations. That translated means that some of you younger fans won't like what he has to say because he's honest. So, Pete, look, let's talk about. Let's go straight into it. So, top four is ours, barring the collapse of all collapses. Do you see any way in which Spurs, from this position, needing 1 point to relegated Norwich, who must have won 4-5 Premier League games all season, is there any way we mess this up?
I like to say no, but this is Tottenham, isn't it? I can't see it. I just can't see it. We only need a draw. Even it's not as if we need to win anymore. It's been made so it can't be made any easier. Relegated team only need a draw. And they will play into our hands, I think. They'll come at us because they want to end on a high, try and get a win and all that stuff. They play attacking football anyway, which plays right into our hands.
Yeah.
I think I'll have too much for them. I think we'll just pick them off at will.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, I've been quite vocal in our WhatsApp group ever since it was created, but I've been vocal this season about how poor I think the Premier League has been. And I think we saw Spurs sort of stagger over the line against Burnley. And then we saw our top four challengers get absolutely played off the park by Newcastle. Do you think that it's a good thing that we got Champions League? Or do you look at this and go, wow, there is a lot of work to be done if we even want to be taken seriously?
Both. It is good we got there. Start the season, I never thought we'd get anywhere near it, to be honest. Mm-hmm. With the transfer window and Nuno and all that, I didn't think we'd get anywhere near it. But it's no excuses now. Now, as I said, we've got back in it after getting out of it. There's no guarantee you'll ever get back in it, and it can take years to get back in it. It took us, 2-3 years to get back in it?
Yeah.
I think now we've got to actually cement it, or at least have a go. Because now we've got Newcastle coming up. With all these owners buying clubs, there'll always be another club who wants your place.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to stop at fourth. We've got to keep going. That's where we've gone wrong in the past. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, mate. I mean, the key thing for me, and I think we touched on it earlier on the group with some of the other lads, is fourth seems to have become this fake kind of achievement over the last 15, 20 years. It's almost like a trophy in some fans' eyes. I don't know about you, but for me, fourth is a platform. It's a stepping stone to, okay, you get more money through Champions League revenue. And in theory, you should be able to attract better players. You know where I'm going with this. We've seen this before where we've got in the Champions League over and over again, and we've not used it as a platform. We've just kind of done the same thing, the same type of signings, the same ethos within the club. Is this time going to be different? And has Daniel Levy learned his lessons?
Well, so far, the 21 years, he's not learned a lesson because he keeps doing the same thing over and over again. Mm-hmm. I'd like to think Conte now, sort of, he's not the type to stand for it. He's got principles where he'll walk away. He's very vocal. Levy don't like that sort of attention to him. We saw that at the Man United game. As soon as the Spurs fans, after that sub started Levy out and all that, the next day Nuno's gone, Conte's in. Yeah. So he doesn't like the bad PR, but he has to. I think for his sake, I mean, ENIC don't take money out of the club. We know that. Their end game is a sale. So unless you the only way you make the club valuable is by being competitive, winning things, and being at the top of your game.
Yeah,
no other way it's going to happen. We've seen that before. He's been waiting for naming rights. He wants big brands, but they want to be associated with big teams who do things in finals and competing for trophies, not teams battling in fourth and fifth.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So listen, just before I come back to that, thank you for everyone that's watching in the show, in the comments. If you've got any questions, get them in. You know how I work. Any questions that you want to ask, Pete and I will answer. If you don't like the answers, it doesn't make us racist. It doesn't make us Arsenal fans. But please get your questions in, and I will go through all of them in true Savva fashion. So first of all, my mate Son of a Salah said, "Why stream when the Liverpool game has just kicked off?" I mean, the last time I checked, I was a Tottenham fan. Yeah. Second of all, I've got the Liverpool game on my Sky Go app just sitting to the left of me. And I'm sorry if that has offended you. I can only apologise for such bad behaviour.
Let us know when you want us to stream it, and we'll move the timetable, mate.
Yeah, I'll stream at 11 o'clock. So Pete, on that, Daniel Levy, look, you know my feelings on Mr. Levy. I saw a lot of posts that were put on various WhatsApp groups yesterday that I'm on, where people are going, "Oh, Levy's done it again." A masterclass, sacking Nuno, bringing in Conte. Look what he's done. Are we attributing getting fourth to Levy, or are we saying this guy has been so lucky with the way he's run this club that he's lucky that we've had a manager come in and been able to steady the ship from where we were in the summer?
Oh, absolutely. He's caught a squeeze, and let's be honest, it is a squeeze, because after Monday it could have gone either way. If we don't get fourth, then it's all the knives are out, and now we have. He's sort of got away with it. He's got lucky twice. Once with Poch for a couple of years, he never wanted him first time. He stumbled across him, and the rest is history. And now Conte, where he was forced to act. He's got lucky. It's got him out of jail a bit. But to be honest, I mean, you hear a lot in the fans, this is Levy's last chance and all that. Wow, I said, well, what are we going to do? Where's he going? He can't get sacked. Nothing's happened to him. He's king as far as he's concerned.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, look, do you know what? I mean, there was a few people in comments in podcasts I was doing with Henry and Will and Stel, and they were saying, "Oh, you'll look stupid when Spurs qualify for the Champions League. Then who'll be right, you or Levy?" And I sat there and I thought to myself, Pete, A, why would I look silly? Because nothing's changed. B, I will only look silly if this man for the next 10 years actually has transfer windows which show me he means success for the club. And I don't mean success for revenue. I don't mean success for stadiums and for training grounds. So what's he got to do for you as a bare minimum this window? What's he got to do? And I don't mean how much he got to spend, but what sort of attributes has he got to show this window to show that we mean business in the Champions League under Conte?
Just sign the checks, don't get involved. Leave it to football people. Paratici, Conte, don't get involved. Just sign the checks. Because whenever he gets involved, his ego is he's always got to nick a couple of million off the price, or get a couple of million added onto the price of he's selling. Everything he don't want to do, he does to everyone else. So don't get involved. Just let the football people do it. Sign the checks.
Yeah.
Sort of stay in the background. Be, and then you can say, yeah, well, he's done what he should do, because we kept getting told about him stepping back. I've seen no evidence of that at all. The way we operate hasn't changed at all, no matter who the director of football is.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? We only signed the two players, Bentancur and Kul, on the last day of the window in January. You know what I mean? If that ain't Levy on mix, then what is?
Yeah. I mean, do you know what? My issue with Levy isn't that he's never going to spend, right? Because I think we've all seen that he does spend. My issue is, what is the plan going to be moving forward? Is it going to be another one of those where we sign 5 or 6 up-and-coming players that all these kids pretend they've seen play a million times and they're the next generational player? Or are we actually going to go out and sign 4 or 5, 6 players where we all go, we're excited to watch the season? What do you think? Or is it going to be a halfway house?
Honestly, don't know. It can't be that, because we've just tried and tested and failed. It can't be that. I don't mind getting a couple of people like that, but they've got to be additions to, like, already a solid window. Yeah, we'll throw these in as well as sort of wild cards, if you like, and see what they do. But there's got to be a clear plan of buying players, proven players, solid pros,
Yeah.
I don't care how old they are. They've got to be solid pros who know the game. Conte wants. That's the one thing Conte wants. If Conte wants them, go and get them within reason, of course. But I don't think Conte's stupid enough to go, I want Mbappe and all that, because he knows it's impossible. But
of course,
feasible signings that Conte wants, not, well, what's their sell-on value in 2 years? Forget all that shit. Just, they want them. We need success. We need it now. 2 years is always another 2 years, and another 2 years, and another 2 years. It's like an endless rebuild. This rebuild, which I don't even know what we're rebuilding from, has been going on for how long?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's one of these buzzwords that the younger fans use now, isn't it? It's a rebuild. We're rebuilding, and I'll always caveat and say, rebuilding from what? You can't rebuild from something that was never built, right? No. I mean, what I will say is, he hasn't got an excuse now, has he? He's got. No. I think this is the thing for me. When people talk to me about, oh my God, top four, great. That's brilliant. Okay, Champions League back at. I'm still going to call it White Hart Lane. It always will be to me. Champions League back at White Hart Lane. But we're now at the stage where every season there's been an excuse, right? Every year there was an excuse. You know, about building a stadium, the pandemic, this, that, the other. We're now in a position where, let's face it, the pandemic for all purposes has gone. From a football attendance perspective. He's got the manager that every fan thinks is the best manager in the world. We've got the director of football that some of our fans can't stop telling me he's cooking and they cream their pants over. He's got Champions League football barring an absolute disaster, right? And we've got the training ground that he wanted. So what will the excuse be if we have another one of those windows where it is all a bit too close to home?
War in Ukraine. You try that one,
right? Yeah.
The club's gas bill's gone up. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I've got to save some money there for that.
Yeah.
But no, there is no excuse, is it? Everything that we've been told we need over the years and we've been patient for is now being delivered.
Yeah.
And we've still got two world-class players in the team. Well, one nearly, but now to build the rest with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to quickly go through a few comments. Just otherwise, I'm a firm believer that without people in the comments, doing a show doesn't make any sense.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's start with so JGR Maker said, Savva, can you get that Melt Saracen Guna who's on the terrace on your show? I don't know who that is, if I'm honest, but anyone is welcome on my show from any club, from any fan base. Daniel Levy who has quadruple glazed windows so his kids don't hear the ice cream van. Yes.
Yeah, chocolate ice is in the freezer and all that, yeah.
Yeah, the old choc 5 for £1 in the freezer. Yeah. My mate Son Over Salah has said, we are obviously going to spend Savva. Levy said it himself before the Burnley game. If I had £1 for every time...
Did he?
Well,
a very vague statement about we will continue investment. I mean, I saw a thing on another show saying about this quote from Levy, we're going to invest in whatever competition we're in. But when you look for that quote, I can't find it anywhere. So I don't know where that's come from.
It's one of those where there's vague comments, Pete, from the last 10, 15 years from this bloke about...
Oh, yeah.
I keep reading that everybody in the club is driving towards the same goals of success on the pitch. And I'm thinking, not when I look at your transfers. They're not, you know. Liam said, I agree. He has to stay out of negotiations. Yeah, that's what Pete said. Got to stay out of the negotiations.
Go on holiday.
Oh, yeah, and paying the bank for that loan bullshit is over as well now, Enoch. Levy and Joe Lewis have nowhere to hide. Absolutely.
Yep.
Here's my mate again with Trust Paratici. Well, Pete, we'll talk about Paratici in a minute when I've gone through the comments, because I'm not sure I do trust him, and I'll tell you why. True Blue has said, need 3 quality signings. Stop the half-arse signings. I mean, I think we need a lot more than 3, but you are right with the sentiment. Yeah. Very good start. Gogamo, hi there. Hello. I always see you on Henry's channels, so welcome to you. Imagine the pool we will have. You ready for Champions League football, Conte and the stadium and training ground.
I've heard that before.
I've heard all of this before. Yeah, it's I'll wait till I see it. Here he is again. Here's my mate. We're rebuilding from the Poch years. We're rebuilding, Pete. You remember from when we didn't win anything?
Nothing, yeah.
We're rebuilding from winning nothing. Tough rebuild, that. True Blue, absolutely. No one besides Spurs remember the Poch years. Yep. No one cares about almost. Yep. Timman 007, welcome to you. I'm happy we are now in control and could possibly get top 4. However, we're not there yet. I was at Newcastle a few years back who were already relegated and we lost 5-1.
Oh, I remember that. I was working that day and all. And my phone was like a drug dealer's phone on a Saturday night. It was non-stop. All gooners terrorising me. I was like, and I was like, how can this happen?
It was pretty embarrassing, that game. And I believe that was to finish second, but we ended up finishing third in a season when everyone said we were in a title race.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Yeah. Winners are remembered. Absolutely. Daryl Denton said, summer telling point for me. If players like Ndombele, Winks, Dyer, Emerson, Davis, Lo Celso still here, been here too long now, not good enough. Show me the direction the club are happy with. Yep. Well, a few comments rolling in here, so give me 2 seconds, Pete. True Blue, why do you care what every other fan thinks as long as we loved that time? Okay.
Courses for courses, I suppose, but I mean, a lot of us want a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Good time. Pete, you know I caveat it. The Poch times, some good times, some bad times, and then he left. No more, no less.
At the end of the day, nothing to show for it.
Yeah. Dude, you just don't get it. We did nothing. Let's go away from their argument. Here's Ian, the Mad Darlow fan. Evening, Ian. I hope that Darlington have a better year next year in the Conference North, and I hope you can get yourself into the conference proper. Let's have a look. Miracle Miner said, big up Savva, this chat is banging. I'll take that. I don't think I'm cool enough to say the word banging, but I'll take it.
No, we're too old for that, mate.
Phil Preston, I won't believe Levy until he comes out with a PR video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Those sort of videos when he says that there's no correlation between spending money and success.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cosmos has said Paratici only has 33% of our transfers. Okay.
I think that's from Henry the other night, wasn't he? He was talking about that.
Yeah. Levy, better back him. Let's do it. No BS now. Man like Savva, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, big me up. And Son of a Salah, the last one, I said, PB and Jam and JGR Make, you spent the entire show sending angry messages at me. Not everyone has to agree with each other's opinions. Son of a Salah, I agree with you, but you were the one who called me racist because I didn't think Son was world class. Yeah, so practice what you preach. Right, Pete, let's talk Paratici. So there was so much of a fuss made last summer. Do you remember? We're going to get Paratici in. He's done all these world-class things at Juventus. This guy's going to cook. I mean, that was going on all summer. He's cooking. He's
on his phone.
He was on his phone. Who's he on his phone too? I mean, people like Alistair Gold would put out post game, who's on his phone too during match day. This guy even sits in the dugout for games. Right, which is weird because I don't see that at any other club. For me, Pete, and there is a question coming here. For me, I thought the first window, besides Romero, was completely underwhelming and didn't do anything for me as a fan. If anything, he weakened the squad. And then I thought he got two good signings. I know people will go well overboard. 2 good signings in the summer. My worry is that so far, the 3 decent players he signed, 3 good players he signed, have all been players he's known. Do you think this guy has had a good start to his Tottenham career? And do you think he's going to be able to have the same impact if he can't go back to his old clubs? What do you reckon?
I'm sort of I wouldn't say glass half full, glass maybe a third full with him. Because I can't forgive Emerson Royal. That one is going to sit with me. I can't forgive that. 30 million for him is unbelievable. That is.
They call it, some fans are saying Cafu. Oh, unless they meant cat food. I don't know, but Cafu. I'm only guessing that the people that say he's like Cafu had never seen
Cafu.
Never seen Cafu play.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, go on, mate.
No, I mean, the first window, you think he come with a reputation, cooking and all that. And all I saw was the equivalent of a pot noodle. There was no, what was he cooking? Because I never saw it. Romero come in, you think, okay, you got some players off the wage bill, which many fans were celebrating, which I didn't understand because I mean, we saved 90 million on a wage bill, getting excited over that. Couldn't understand that. And the summer window was poor overall. I think we were a bit weaker in terms of numbers, and we didn't bring any quality in. I mean, I couldn't stand Lamela, but we got rid of him and bought someone who probably weighs as much as Lamela's left leg, and was probably about as useful. He's not done nothing. January, he saved it in the end, but there was still 30 days for me wasted that we could have done something. I can't stand this end of the window bollocks because we lose points in that time.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? I don't have a go at him about the Diaz thing. At the end of the day, it was well known he wanted to go to Liverpool. We made a move. As soon as Liverpool moved, he was going there. I'm not going to hold that against him. But at the same time, in his defence, I would say he's only as good as he's allowed to be good in terms of how much money he gets given. Does Levy sign it off or not? This 33% is nonsense. He's got 0%. Levy has 100%. Nothing will happen unless he says so. That is the end of the day. It's always been that way. Always will be that way. Yeah.
I think look, there's a lot of truth in that. He can only be as good as the money he's given. I just think for me, if we're talking about 30 million for a right back like Emerson Royale, I would like to think that someone who apparently can cook, and whatever that means, I don't even know what that means anymore. For someone who's cooking, I would expect to see some proper scouting that's gone on, and not Emerson Royale, not Galini as our backup goalkeeper.
He can cook. He's like a sieve, that one. Everything goes through him. In the net, in the Conference League of all things.
Shocking.
What a waste of time.
Let's answer this question. We'll come back to that in a minute. True Blue 849 has said he'd rather have Maddison over Dybala. At Savva, you already know Paratici is gunning for Dybala. Pete, I mean, I would rather have Maddison, but I'm guessing Maddison will cost in the region of 60 million, and Dybala's on a free. Is that the answer to our question?
Possibly. I'm always in favour of. I think we don't do enough business with other teams in the league. We don't buy enough Premier League players. We're always going outside the league. Quite often we have to wait a year if they're going to make it. Sometimes they don't. Quite often they don't. I think go and buy it in the league. Liverpool showed that. They went and bought Jota. Everyone went, okay. And then now look at him now.
Yeah.
Chelsea do it. Man City do it. They buy after because they've already been proven. You know they can do it in the league. We don't do enough of that.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I mean, look,
I'm is free, so you can say, okay, but if he's free, then why can't we have both? We've got plenty of room on a wage bill. We'll just save 90 million. Around in January.
I mean, I keep seeing a lot of names thrown about. It's silly season now, isn't it? Where names are thrown about and fans go, we'd have him. There's a lot of players I would take at Tottenham when I look at our squad. For me, pardon?
Most of the league, I'll take.
Oh, mate, honestly, we've been carried by the same two players for so long now. If Levy does back Conte, we need our business early, not these last-minute deals when the season has started. Now, for me, this might be an indicator of, are we seeing a shift from Levy running the show, or is it Paratici? Because so far, the last window was Daniel Levy all over.
Oh, hand fingerprints all over him.
Wasn't it? All over. And I would like to see, wouldn't it be great? First couple of weeks of the window, first month of the window, go this player, that player, be lovely to see that. And I know it's not Football Manager, Pete, but I would like to think that Paratici and his team would have been working on these deals from January.
Well, like I said earlier to you in the group, the first thing that's got to happen is Conte's got to sign a contract because Levy's not going to commit to him because he's not going to give him money and then he's not going to be here. And nor should he, to be honest. I agree with him on that. So I think if Conte signs early, then we might have an indication of that obviously we might be in for a change of times, and the way we operate. Because obviously Levy's got to sell the proposition to Conte. Conte's got to put his hand in his pocket, he's get his pen out and go, okay, I'm going to commit to that. I'm happy with that, and then away they go. But I don't think anything will happen until Conte. I think he's got a year left, and then can we trigger another year, or is he? I can't remember how it works, but he needs to sign at least another 2 years on top of that for Levy to then pump money in, because by August we could be looking for another manager. If PSG pull the plug on Poch, and that all going to start thing again. So Levy needs some commitment as well, to be fair.
Mate, I agree. I completely agree with you. As much as I don't like what Daniel Levy's done at this club, and the way he acts, I do agree with that. I feel that we don't know what's going to happen, but we need to see the conversation of, right, I will back you. You sign a 3-4 year deal, and here's the players you're going to get. But I mean, is that Conte style? Is that Levy style? Are we asking for? Are we asking for two? You know, that they never meet.
Yeah, was it a movable object meets a movable force, whatever it is. I know what you mean. There's got to be some sort of compromise, because for the benefit of the club, because for too long we've had, he's still got this manager's players and all that. So we go Conte, okay, full in, we go balls deep. There's some money, and then PSG go, hello, do you want to cut? And he goes, yeah. So we have to get another manager in. Then we've got to shift another load of players and get these players in. And that's all we've been doing for how long now?
Yeah.
And we never had to do it for any manager anyway. We'll never go all the way in. So it's time to sort of get red or black, like put the chips down and go for it.
Yeah.
This is the man, this best chance we're going to get, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Just quickly, Adam Sells said he's buzzing that we're destined for fourth. Do we think players like our former greats Kevin Watson and Milenko Asimovic would have helped us this season? I mean, Jesus Christ. I'll tell you what, some of our players, they're better than. True Blue, Savva, remember, Papa Sarr is generational. Just another one. He might turn out to be a great player, but at a time when we needed reinforcements for the now, it seemed that it was a pointless 15 million spent at that time. Daryl Denton, can you just block the person if you don't like them or their comments? We don't need to see their arguing. Yeah, guys, I think there is a lot of arguing in the stream.
Handbags in the chat.
Keep it safe. I see what you're saying. You know, I see all sides of your arguments. Premier Hotspur TV, evening, guys. Hope you're well and confident. Oh, sorry. And how confident are you going into this game on Sundays? Because I'm absolutely 100%. Listen, I'm going to put this out there right now, and Pete might agree or not. If we do not get the point needed and Arsenal beat Everton, that will be one of the worst results in Tottenham Hotspur's history.
That happens, and they can all go. Because there's no excuse to get rid of all of them, and because there's no way to have just need a point at Norwich, with a team that have been pumped on a regular every week. Sorry, no excuse. There's no pressure even on.
Yeah, absolutely. JGR Maker said, Savva, would you like to see Papa Sarr go out on loan to a mid-table Premier League team, or would you like to see him as a third option as a player next to Skip and Højbjerg? Mate, the fault of three of our main central midfielders being Skip, Højbjerg and Papa Sarr in a Champions League season fills me with dread. For me, next year, if we're serious, Papa Sarr should be on loan somewhere, maybe a championship team. We don't know. Maybe a championship team. Depending on which central midfielders we bring in, depends on whether Skip's needed. You know, I mean, what I would say, though, is we're going to need 4 or 5 central midfielders to play Wednesday, Saturday, you know, Tuesday, Saturday, whatever it may be. So I think
and cup games.
Yeah, and cup games. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Rover 618 has said Dybala is going to Inter. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me.
If he does, he does. I don't think I think that ship sailed a long time ago.
Listen, I would take him.
Oh, yeah.
If he goes, right? It's not the end of the world. My mate, son of a seller, has said, Paratici has only just got here, Savva Jesus. Are you calling me Savva Jesus, or are you saying Jesus is in Jesus Christ?
I think that's what I'm saying,
Um,
Not unless
yeah,
you've got sandals on.
Paratici's only just got here, but you've got to remember we're at the elite level of football here. When these directors of football come in being paid multi-million pounds a year, you don't get a summer transfer window to buy loads of bad players and we just go, oh, well, it's one window. No,
that's nonsense. You don't get someone like Paratici so reputation. When you get them, you get their contacts, their scouting network, everything, all the people in their phone. You know what I mean? Their whole contact system, all the players, agents, etc. You don't just buy him and then he starts learning. It's just not a new role for him.
Yeah,
it's something he's done before. He's been poached.
Yeah, I agree. True Blue 849. Yeah, this is one of my worries as well. I want to see Paratici get a good signing that is not from Serie A. We are low on the homegrown, I remember correctly.
I think we're all right for that now.
Yeah, I mean,
looking at that earlier, I think we got 20. I think we got enough now. That's without Skip and a couple of others who don't need to be registered yet as homegrown because of the age.
For me, I'm not so worried about the homegrown. What I would like to see, listen, and I think there's plenty of good players in Serie A, but yeah, what I think we need to see from him is, right, has he got those contacts in the Premier League? You know, can he go and get a Ruben Neves? Can he go and get a Ward-Prowse or a Cucurella? You know, some Premiership proven ability. That for me will set him apart from other directors of football. But if he can only get them players from Italy, then it's not really that impressive because
very niche, isn't it? It's niche. Unless we get him for Serie A, let's get another one and he does the Premier League then. Might as well stick with
here's our mate. Kulu, Bentancur, Romero, Loris, Højbjerg, Dyer carried. Right. So I think this is in response to me saying Kane and Son have carried us. If you listen to what I'd said, I said they've carried us for 6 or 7 years. Kulu's had some good games, some bad games. Same with Bentancur. Romero missed a lot of the season injured. Lloris has been okay.
Been a bit dodgy at some points in the season. Yeah, a little spell where he was letting silly ones in. Højbjerg's a decent footballer and Dyer is a decent footballer. So yes, Kane and Son have very much carried us yet again. I'm surprised you don't believe that, Son over Salah, considering how much you beat the drum about Heung-min Son every show. And goals win games. Our third top goal scorer is on goals.
Here we go. Totti N17 has said Højbjerg is a dog shit footballer. I think that's a bit harsh.
That's harsh, that is.
For me, Pete, let's talk about Højbjerg just for 30 seconds. For me, Højbjerg is a steady Eddie. Yeah. I think you know what you're going to get each game. Every manager that's been here has played him. He starts
games in 2 seasons.
Yeah. And for me, you know what you're going to get. I'm not saying he's the best player, but I would definitely have him as part of my squad moving forward.
I do not get the hate he gets and the grief he was getting not long ago because he's not Oliver Skip. And for me, he gets in above Skip every day.
Oh, he's a better footballer than Skip.
Skip's got a lot to learn, but he's a solid pro. He comes out, he gives 100%. He's a warrior. He battles because he don't do on silly Cruyff turns and lose the ball and take on 15 people. That's not his game. But you buy him, and he's been sort of given a job in a position in a 2-man midfield where he's outnumbered most weeks, and he wants to be the one who's sitting back, just mopping up everything, not part of the ones going forward all the time. So he gets unnecessary grief. He's a solid pro. You'd have him in your squad. He's sort of one you bring on 75 minutes, see the game out, or when you want to tighten it up and all that, or if you go to a difficult away game and you want to put an extra body in midfield, you bring him in.
Yeah. I think sometimes the extremes on players is they're either world class or they're shit. You know, no one can be just a good player anymore. What I would say, just quickly before we carry on, guys, if anybody has not subscribed and is new to the show, please subscribe. It would be appreciated. Thank you very much. Rover618, I would go for Ward-Prowse. I would definitely have Ward-Prowse. He guarantees you how many free kicks a season, corners that are good.
About 8, isn't he?
Yeah. Son over Salah, most of them are just average. None of them are world class. Darryl Denton said, Dyer, Højbjerg, good. Yeah, if you want mid-table. For me, Dyer's okay. Højbjerg's decent, but listen, for me, these should be squad players.
100%.
The fact that they're starting week in, week out for us tells you how bad the squad is and how much Son and Kane have carried us.
It's not their fault.
Let's have a look. Daryl Denton has said this squad is stale. We only got top 4 if we get it. By others helping, next season won't be so forgiving. Daryl, one thing that I've said, and I get criticised a lot for this, is that I think this has been an absolute horrendous Premier League season.
Shocking.
I think it gets papered over because Man City and Liverpool are so good. If you actually look back even to how bang average Chelsea have been, and then look at Arsenal and Spurs, those two fighting for top 4, between them, you can't make a strong 11. It's very poor for me.
It was only 2 weeks ago, I think a few weeks ago, Leicester were in the top 4 and 9th place on 40 points. And 40 points was your sort of 16th, 15th team who've just reached the safety mark. Now it's getting you in the top 10. A couple of weeks ago.
Here's your mate. He's had one full transfer window, which he bought as Bentancur and Kulusevski. Not too bad. Well, but again, for me, that's not. You can't just judge him on the 2 good ones he bought.
You can't forget the bad ones.
More of his signings have been horrendous than they've been good. So look, the jury's out. I'm not writing him off, but he hasn't done anything so far that's made me go, wow. Like it's been 50-50 for me. Premier Hotspur TV, guys, remember it's 5 subs next season, so we need a bench full of players that will push the starting lineup. Pete, before we do that, don't we need a lineup that can push the lineup?
Well, yeah, I'd like to see some players actually push. Yeah, because everyone's the same. Like we don't even the 3 o'clock meltdown that used to get, the meltdown on Twitter before the game when the team's announced. But you don't get that anymore because everyone knows it week in, week out. It's the same team because it's all we've got. Same subs because it's all we've got. Yeah,
it's poor, isn't it? Jagger Maker said Højbjerg in those first 6-7 months under Mourinho was great. Since then, he's been performing below those standards that he showed us in those first 6-7 months. Yeah, look, I think it's difficult. First and foremost, if we break this down, the only regular central midfield player for the last 2 years, the fact that he's played over 100 games, is Højbjerg. I would like to see the stat of the central midfielder in the last 2 seasons with the most appearances after that. He's had to play next to Sissoko, Winks, Skip, Mason, Lo Celso, Ndombele, Bentancur. I think it's really harsh. The fact that out of all of those, I reckon he's played more than double the nearest person to him.
To be honest, I don't think his standards have dropped. I think when he first came in on Mourinho, he was a player that we didn't have. So naturally, everyone's like, whoa, because we never had a proper defensive midfielder. Everyone's like, whoa, what's this? Remember when Palacios came in? And he was like, it was revolutionary. He was like, oh, this geezer's mustard. And then within a year, we were thinking, right, we need to upgrade on him.
Yeah.
We thought of outgrown him. It's the same with Højbjerg. I mean, he's not dropped. It's just that we've got used to having him there, where the season before, it was Sissoko and Winks. So he come in and look like a wall beater against them two. You know what I mean? And now we're looking to go to another level now.
Yeah,
so he's not
agreed.
But he's definitely a squad player.
Here's my mate. He's back. I do like Son of a Seller. I do like you because you do contribute to the show. So thank you for that. But you didn't say 6 or 7 years. Well, I've said multiple times that Harry Kane and Son have carried us. If we are a 2-man team, we wouldn't be 4th. Son has literally been injured for a month and Kane didn't turn up. Okay. If we're not a 2-man team, let me ask you this. If Kane and Son don't play, where do we finish?
No, Kane don't play. Leave Son and Kane don't play. It's all over.
Where do we finish if those two don't play? Because they score all our goals and all our assists. Sorry, I think anyone's living under a stone if they don't think those two have carried us year after year. Phil President has said, I want to finally see the ENIC show some ambition for the first time. Paratici was working under Moshi when Juventus made those good signings. The signings like Ramsey were the ones under Paratici. I can't 100% be clear on what you're trying to say there, but look, I think, we all agree. We want to see ENIC show some ambition. We want to see them buy quality over quantity. And we want them to sign some players that can go straight into a Champions League team, right? Not these players like Emerson Royal that people keep telling me will get better when clearly he's not. Let's have a look. Tommy Ladlow, here we go. Tommy has said, if Leeds go down, we could take Calvin Phillips and Basuma for a combined fee of under 60 million. Right.
Basuma any day of the week, I'd go for him straight away. Right.
That's the sort of signing I want to see, Tommy Ladlow. I think, Pete, you agree, right? Premiership proven central midfielders that you know what you're getting.
It's a no-brainer for me, especially Basuma. Right. I think if someone else will go and get him before we do, and then we'll regret it. Yep.
I completely agree. True Blue said the lack of goals from our midfield is shocking. We need more balance. True Blue.
Only two of them.
Yeah.
They're getting outnumbered every week, the poor fuckers.
I mean,
but he's right in what he's saying. I think the wide forwards are the ones that need to, like the Lucases and the Bergwijns, when we know what they are, but they haven't really contributed much. The two midfielders
Wouldn't you say,
are doing
Pete,
the job.
That statement has been true since Ericsson left. We literally, our midfield, whoever's played, whatever formation, there isn't the creativity there or the goals. So I don't expect goals from our midfield. I don't know about you.
No, I don't. For the two we got in there, they're not known for scoring goals.
Yeah.
So why to expect it from them? I have no idea.
THFC 14, why the negativity on here? I don't think anyone's being that negative. I just think everyone's being honest. Savva, you've done a good job convincing our fan base, all our players are shit, which makes no sense. We're 2 points behind the great Chelsea. I mean, first of all, it's not my job to convince our fan base. The thing is, son of a Salah, and I think you're probably quite young, fans like Pete and I, we've had our same opinion for years. This isn't a new thing. If our players were that good, we wouldn't put in performances like Wolves, Southampton, Moura, Burnley. Both Burnley games were shocking, to be honest. Brighton, Brentford, Middlesbrough in the FA Cup. If our players were that good, we wouldn't be putting in those performances. So it's not for me to convince people. People have got their own minds, right?
Not for him to convince them the other way either. Make your mind up.
Yeah. At the end of the day, and by the way, this is not a great Chelsea. Let's be very, very clear about this. This is a very mediocre Chelsea.
Good players in there, but there's a unit there all over the place.
Thank you. Premier Hotspur TV. Smash the like, guys, and subscribe to this good channel. Who has not subscribed? Hold your hands up and hang your head in shame. It takes a lot of effort to put these shows together, guys. Hitting a button on a screen should be nice and easy. Get some questions in. I want some questions for Pete. Right, Rovers 618 says, sorry, lads, I don't see what everyone sees in Calvin Phillips. I feel he is weak. Pete?
I think when these players come out, I think people automatically think that we're putting them in the first 11. We do want to get for the first 11, but we need a squad. Having someone like Calvin Phillips in your squad is a no-brainer. Yeah. We're not saying spend 60 million. If you can get him relatively cheap and add him to your squad, like a lot of these free players that have been floating around over the years, especially the older pros, Ramoses and all that, like they went elsewhere, but like Cambiasso did for Leicester. If you can add the Cavani, you can get these old freebies in, especially the older ones who bring a bit of value to your team. You have them in your squad. Like, it's a squad game now. It cannot be, the first 11 and that's it. It's a squad game.
Let's have a look. We should really have Kane plus two more good strikers, as well as Son, who isn't technically a striker. Moura, Bergwijn out, and Scarlett is not ready. I remember us signing Bent when we already had three. Adam, listen, I do not know what has happened to Tottenham. We seem to be the only club in world football that aren't allowed to have more than one recognised striker in our squad, other than Leeds, probably. But Pete, do you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. I feel sorry for the lad Scarlett because there's a lot of pressure being put on him in the conference games, and he was being with players that didn't want to play in the players who thought they were too big for the competition, and he got nothing at all. But yeah, he's not ready. He's got out on loan. Got to use the loan system for these younger players. They can prove themselves. But we definitely, I cannot believe we've gone this long without buying another striker. We've got away with murder this year with Kane not having his usual ankle injuries or hamstring injuries because they were due. They're still due. Do you know what I mean? Could get it for England, but we got away with murder for that this year. That he never had that. Facts, maybe because of his poor start of the season, the couple of games he missed, and he weren't given 100% straight away. It sort of saved his legs a bit. Because if we'd have had that, we'd have been fucked.
Yeah, I agree. Most of our fans are losers, just happy with getting dicked by elite teams in the Champions League every season and finish top 4 in the Premier League. That's success for them. That's why we'll never aspire to be a top club. I would love to say that's harsh, but I do feel a lot of our fan base really are confused about what success looks like. As I said earlier, top 4 is a platform. It's not something where I'll go, oh my God, we made Champions League. This is amazing. It's a platform to allow us to attract better players.
It should.
To attract better players, we need the chairman that wants to go and attract better players. Yeah. So Phil President has said, I love that name, Phil President. I hope that is your surname. Dyer would get into the other top 4 teams, therefore he's a backup at best. I think, did you mean say Dyer wouldn't? Paratici has 3 out of 7 in his transfers, lower than 50. Yep, agreed. I was probably being generous with a 50-50. Rovers 186 has said, I say we go all in for Watkins, Ward-Prowse, Maguire or Rashford. I would take one of those.
Ward-Prowse. The rest of
I would take Ward-Prowse. I wouldn't take the other 3 at all. Watkins is a keen runner.
Headless chicken.
Yeah, keen runner, doesn't score a lot of goals. Rashford, I don't rate, never have. And Maguire, I don't know why. So I think that was a bit of bait. We need players with a brain and vision. Yep, we need that Eriksen type, Modric type badly. PB and Jam, one of my favourites, says, Savva, do you agree with the following statement about Højbjerg? He's a workhorse every club would love to have. I don't know about every club. I don't think that Liverpool or Man City would be looking for a Højbjerg. I think that from Spurs or Chelsea, but from Spurs downwards, I don't think there's many squads where he wouldn't get in as at least a squad player, is there?
No.
I'm just trying to think, where would he not get in as a squad player? No. Come back to me on that one, PB and Jam.
Solid pro.
Here we go. If Kane and Son don't play, we finish mid-table. We've seen it first half of the season. If Kane and Son don't play and are not scoring goals, we are not a top half club, in my opinion. Oh, I love the argument. If you take the 2 best players out of any team, they aren't as good.
He's relentless, isn't he?
He doesn't understand it. Let's have a look at this. If Liverpool lose Mane and Salah, they put in Jota and Diaz. If Man City don't have Mahrez and Foden, they put in Haaland now, Jesus, Sterling,
Grealish,
Gundogan. I mean, you're the problem with Son over Salah. Listen. You seem like a really good lad, apart from the racist bit. You seem like a really good lad, and I love how you defend Spurs to the hilt. But unfortunately, your positivity is toxic positivity. It's positive for the sake of being positive all the time.
Do yourself a favour. Take the emotion out of it. Be objective. Take the emotion out of it. They are what they are, these players. You can still be a Spurs fan and still criticise. That's the only way you're going to ever get better. You can't just keep accepting the same stuff.
Yeah. I think Levy will be forced to back Conte as he saw how badly the fans turned over Nuno. Normally, I'm pessimistic about Levy. I hope I am right. Coach Silva, I've been hoping people are right about Levy for 21 years. As of yet, they never have been. So
Mate,
we
I've
will
had
see.
humble pie in the freezer for 21 years. You know what I mean? I'm still waiting to get it out and eat it. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. Zolo Gold, that's a great name. Sorry, Zolo Golo, even better. Savva predict top 6 accordingly next season. I'm going to politely decline because I feel that if I make a prediction whilst we're in this season, before lots of teams have bought players, I don't think I can accurately guess.
From September the 1st.
I'll make 2 predictions. I'll make the top 2 will be Man City followed by Liverpool. The rest I do not know. Premier Hotspur TV, I've said it for a long time. You take Kane and Son out of this team, then we are bang average. Of course we are.
Let's be honest.
Have a look. And if someone in the group could do me a favour, just Premier League goals, could you please tell me how many in the last 2 years, the last 2 seasons, Kane and Son have between them? I think Kane got 23 last year and 16 this year, if I'm not wrong. That's 39. And I think Son got, was it 17 or 18 last year and 21 this year? So we're roughly looking at about 80 Premier League goals between them in the last 2 years? No. Is that, yeah. Yeah, we're looking at roughly 80 Premier League goals between them in the last 2 years. I don't understand how anyone thinks they won't, they're not our two.
Let's be honest, even with them at times we've looked bang average.
Oh, we always look bang average.
Yeah, so is this, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Daryl Denton, City winning the Prem with no striker, they're taking the piss. I mean, this is an interesting one because Man City, constantly I hear from people, they need a striker. Unfortunately for us, they're going to win the league and have just gone and got Haaland, who, Pete, let me let you in something. I don't know if you saw this show about a week ago when I was in New York. I got told on here that Haaland's going to struggle in the Premier League.
I saw it. Uh-huh.
And I remember just sitting there thinking, we are fans that big up players like Dyer and Royal, but Haaland is going to struggle in the Premier League.
He's built for the Premier League, that bloke.
Wow. Stephanie, if you don't
believe... They need a striker to win the Champions League, though. I do think that is lacking in the Champions League. Quite
possibly. Here you go. If you don't believe Levy will back Conte this summer, why are you excited about the Champions League? Stephanie, I would ask you the question. When have I said I'm excited? I've actively said I can only get excited about it if we have a transfer window where we actually bring in proven players that are capable of playing Premier League and Champions League football. So I'm not sure that you've used your eyes properly on this occasion or your ears. Zolo Golo, here you go. You can have this question, Pete. Do you think Chelsea will challenge for the league next year? What are your thoughts on Reece James, Mount, Pulisic, Havertz and Chilwell? I know I'd take them all.
Yeah, I'll have in a heartbeat, mate. I don't know. There's a lot going on over there at the moment. At the end of the day, what they are is a dangerous animal. You can't write them off because Tuchel's shown he can put a team together. I think they've sort of gone wrong with Lukaku. They've put their eggs in his basket, and that's where it's gone wrong for them this year. But they're still they're third in the league. At the end of the day, they are what they are. They got to 2 finals. They're a well-oiled machine. What is definite is that if they don't win, he's out. Well, now it's changed now. It depends what the new owners are like. But before, that mentality come from the top down. That's what we lack, from the top down. You success or on your bike.
Absolutely. Whereas our fans...
And they equip the managers to get it and all.
Well, our fans, Pete, they want to give players 4 years to settle in. And then and in clubs like Chelsea, no, you don't get that. Here's a strange one. I'm going to say strange. THFC 14. Højbjerg finished 4th. Phillips is getting relegated. Proven proper Prem players. I don't see the correlation because if you swap the 2 players, does that mean Spurs don't get 4th, or do Leeds not get relegated even though Leeds haven't been relegated yet? I don't see the correlation between that argument, I'm afraid. Maybe I'm being simplistic. Let's have a look. Let's get questions in. It's good in here tonight. There's some vibrant people. Let's get some questions for Pete. Rover 618, I've seen Calvin Phillips play. He has the vision, but he is too weak for the Premier League. Is he too weak?
I don't think so. I just think
I've not seen that.
What do you expect? I think everyone expects midfielders to be like Iniesta. There's different qualities in a midfielder. He's just a machine. He's just non-stop running.
Tell you who else is a machine? A typing keyboard machine. Do you want to pick that one apart, Pete? Cherry picking the bad performances. Right, hang on. Sorry, Pete. Let me take this. Right. Cherry picking the bad performances. Moura.
He's cherry picking the good ones.
Moura, Middlesbrough, Burnley, Brighton, Wolves, Southampton, Everton away, Crystal Palace away. Sorry, I'm not cherry picking. There's a bloody lot of them, my friend. All right, we've drawn with Liverpool twice. Okay, I mean that again. Look at the satisfaction that brings to you. It's
no trophy for that.
Son of a Salah.
We get pumped by them lot and beat the Wolves, the Burnley, the Brighton, the Brentford, because they're the games we should win. We got results at Liverpool, Man City. We probably shouldn't have got, but where we should have got results, we don't. So you can't one don't outweigh the other. Yeah.
Coach Silver said Conte has only bought 9 players in his career over 30 million. We just have to buy his players. Listen, for me, the value isn't the important thing. Yeah? It's the quality of the player. So, for example, if you're buying Emerson Royal for 30 million, yeah,
that's every time I hear it.
that might as well have been 100 million because it was that bad a transfer. You've been waxing lyrical about Chelsea all season. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I've not had my podcast has been going 2.5 weeks, and I've been on Henry's show for about 6 weeks. I'm not waxing lyrical about them. When have I waxed lyrical? He's a weird little guy, this man. Very weird. PB and Jam. Oh, he's just. Oh no, hang on. Wow, what a trophy. Let's have a look. The only person who talks sense here, I feel it is at Son over Salah.
That's his power then, isn't it? That's his school, mate.
So what you mean here is the only person that will not say anything truthful and only says positive things about Spurs. Correct. Right. Do City win the league if Liverpool draw tonight? Not mathematically, but for me, the league's won whether Liverpool win or not. Can you imagine? I had this chat with some bloke at work today, right? He's a Liverpool fan, believe it or not, Pete. And he went, I don't know, I feel like, Villa with Gerrard, they could go to City and get something. And I thought,
they'll get something all right.
Yeah. All I thought to myself was, they're getting spanked. That's going to be a party atmosphere.
That'd be like the Alamo.
It'll be one of them games where they're all lining up for a goal. Sterling will have one, Foden will have one, Jesus, De Bruyne. Chelsea won the Champions League. Chelsea won the Champions League 52 weeks ago. Come on.
I think that's the comment against Son over Salah about waxing lyrical about Chelsea. Until they are the current Champions League holders, you can't get away from that.
I'm not going to repeat that, but that is funny. Premier Hotspur TV. If we get top 4 and Conte and Kane stays, then Levy has no choice than to give Conte the war chest. I just want to put this out there, and Pete, again, as I always say to you, feel free to disagree with me, but I hear this all the time about if Kane stays. Let's be honest, it's not down to Kane, is it? I think, didn't we see that last summer? Right.
He ain't going nowhere.
How much do you think needs to be put in front of Daniel Levy for him to go, all right, it's worth it with 2 years left on his contract?
It's probably still 150 million. It ain't going to go down.
Right. And who's going to pay 150 million for him this summer?
No, that ship sailed now. He was only going to go Man City. That's gone. He's not going anywhere else. We'll never sell to Chelsea. United, what's the point of going there? That's it. It's done. He's going to stay now. I don't think he wants to go abroad. So he's going to stay and chase Shearer's record and see what he can do with us. I can't see any other outcome.
Agreed. Last year was his time. And I said at the time, if he goes with my blessing because he gave us great years, and we've not built a team around him. Just quickly, I've only had 2 subscribers the whole hour. Let's get some more subscribers, people. At least show some love for the time and effort that these things take. Mr. Stewart, Will Stewart, how are you, buddy? We need to follow the Liverpool model. We did it under Mitchell, saw some improvement, and then went back to buying players at Costco. I'd rather get 3 quality players than 6 flops. Yep.
That's what we were saying earlier.
Do you know what, Will? Pete, I think we said this earlier as well. If we had been doing this for the last 4 or 5 years, we wouldn't have the squad we have. We would do what Liverpool do. 1 or 2 good players every now and then. Oh, Liverpool just missed a sitter.
It's a constant evolution.
Absolutely. Let's have a look. Will Stewart.
Evolution in our case.
Jesus and Sterling are probably on their way out this summer. Yeah, listen, I can see that as well. I think the beauty of what Man City can do now, I mean, their squad is so great that they can go, right, Jesus and Sterling out. All right, we're bringing in Alvarez and Haaland. And then you'll see more next year of that young Palmer lad. And there's another young lad that came on for them. I saw in the cup, and I was like, "Wow, this boy can." When a player comes on and you go, "Oh, you can play."
When you first saw Phil Foden,
yeah,
this geezer knows what he's doing.
Phil Foden quality. You're negative for the sake of being negative at times. Okay, all right. I have been a fan since 1978, so lucky to have seen us winning cups and UEFA Cups. Coach Silva, you will be called a nostalgia merchant for remembering the winning times. You know that, my friend. Yes, mate, I've seen us win cups and UEFA Cups, and it is a better feeling than celebrating losing finals, for sure.
Oh,
you agree, Pete?
No, yeah, 100%. No-brainer, isn't it?
He's back. Savva, Lee Judges, who is an Arsenal fan, has said he cannot believe Spurs fans want Levy out. He's been watching football since the 70s and never had to worry about us. Now that has changed. Okay, let's pick this apart. First of all, Lee Judges is an Arsenal fan. So his opinion on my chairman and the owner of my football club, him and Lewis, has no bearing to me. Second of all, right, I don't care if he's been watching football since the 70s and they've never had to worry about us. That has changed. What's changed? What are they worried about? Even in, you wet yourself over Poch, right, and over the years he had. Even in his years when we were all saying to Arsenal, mind the gap, we've overtaken you, they were winning trophy after trophy after trophy, while we were getting beaten in every semi and final we played in. So I don't care what Lee Judges has to say. Pete, do you care about Lee Judges?
Not really, no. They in their worst years, they picked up. What they picked up now? Is it 4 or 5 FA Cups? And in our best years, we picked up fuck all. Yeah.
Yeah, Will Stewart. The better question is, how many other players have gotten 10 plus the last few years? I'll tell you what. Yeah, I agree. If we're talking about goals scored between Kane and Son, yeah. When you look at that, as I said, Will, I think between the two of them, Will, you're good. Will, come on, you like your stats.
Get it up.
Come on, Will, you like your stats. How many Premier League goals Kane and Son last season and this season between them? That would be really good to know. Thank you. You know it's bad when own goals are our third top goal scorer.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to get a shirt, Pete, in the summer with Oggs on the back.
Oggs, yeah.
With Oggs. Again, Will, Haaland won't struggle. Of course he won't. There are certain players that you just look at and go, wow, and he is one of them. Chelsea may not even be a club next year. Yeah. Judges is a troll. He hates us. Lee knows exactly what he's doing, winding Spurs fans up. Yeah, but unfortunately, he's got the ear of people like Son over Salah, who has just come out with another horrendous take. I love you, Son. Son over Salah, come on. Join us because you are comedy gold. You would take Pulisic. Are you serious? Yes. We have Bergwijn and Moura. I mean, why would we... Pete, am I mad?
Why would you not?
How would we not take this guy when we've got players like Bergwijn and Moura?
I don't think that's his fault. I think that's just the system and the rest of it. But he's a quality player.
Wow, I just don't understand. Here we go. Coach Silver, we need 2 wing backs, 1 centre back, 1 centre mid, 1 creative midfielder, 1 forward. Then we need 2 to 3 squad players. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just the 10 in the window. Just the 10. Daniel Levy's just texted me to say that he's dusted off his checkbook. And huh?
So quite a list, isn't it?
Yeah, you've gone a little bit quiet, by the way, over there, Pete, just so you know. Where is my man Rovers? There's lots of comments in. It's lively in the show. Savva, please mark this screenshot that Haaland will struggle in the Premier League. German Farmers League is no benchmark to judge players. Werner was scoring for fun, even Bailey and Havertz. I mean, where to begin to rip this awful comment apart? First of all, how many goals? Isn't Haaland the record holder for the number of Champions League goals scored by 21?
I think so, yeah.
Right. Werner was scoring goals for fun. Okay, but Werner's in no way, shape or form Haaland. And Havertz has had a very good end to the season and actually scored the winner in the Champions League final. It's all got a bit echoey, your MP.
Is it? All right.
Don't know what's happened there. Yeah, I can hear myself.
Is that better?
Let me talk. Yeah. No. All I can hear is me when I talk.
All right, give me a sec, mate.
So Haaland will get bundles of goals next season, especially with how City play and how much they create. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I do not understand any fan belittling this signing. It is this. If ever you want to see how Spurs fans are biased and tribalistic, is that a word? I'm having it. These sort of comments, Premier Hotspur, they show them, right? Because these fans will big up bad players we buy, but put down Haaland. It's just embarrassing. Will has said Pulisic will be a decent squad player, but I wouldn't want him. He's overrated by the American fan base. Listen, I'd have him in the squad. I'm not saying he has to start every game. I'm just saying he's much better than Lucas and Bergwijn. Haaland is the next.
Can you hear me now, mate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Much better. Get some questions in for the last half hour with me and Pete. Pete, here's a question for you. Would you take Bowen from West Ham?
Yeah.
No brainer, isn't it?
Yeah. There's your first top goal scorer there.
Yeah. I think for me he's a brilliant little footballer in
for the World Cup. If he don't get in and Rashford does, that's criminal.
Yeah, he's always going to take players like Rashford and Sancho over him because that's the manager he is, right?
Twat.
Ebro D, welcome to the show, has said, our depth is so poor. If we don't get a proper squad before next season, we will struggle significantly in the Champions League and Prem. Yes.
Injury to Kane, we're in trouble.
Yep. Yeah, I'm very worried about that. It's okay playing 1 game a week. But when you've got to play 2 games a week with wing backs, it's going to be very difficult if we don't have a squad.
Kane not being injured this year because of 1 game a week for most of the season.
Yeah,
stretch that. He's stretching him too far. We need a striker.
Yeah,
especially if we lose the goals and we lose the creative player as well. There's 2 players we lose.
Right. I'm going to say now, if I can get 10 subscriptions in the next 10 minutes, I will give away a Spurs shirt when I hit 1,000 subscribers. On the very first day, I'll give away a Spurs shirt. Louis has said, big up Savva, big up to yourself, Louis. Will Stewart has said, Liverpool looks like they might bottle it tonight. To be honest, I don't know if I think the word bottle keeps getting used too much. For me, I think they showed their hand by the team they selected. I think he knows the league's gone, right? He knows that for them to win the league, it's gonna need a miracle. Coach Silva, with my point, over 30 million was more about his players. There is this view Conte spends a lot on big players, which is wrong. Yeah, Coach Silva, I agree. If Conte and Paratici can find good players that are free, 20 million, 10 million, I don't care how much they cost. We just have to stop spending on players that are not proven. That's much. Do you agree with that, Pete?
Oh, absolutely. We need quality players. I don't care how much they cost. I mean, you could get something for free. It's just quality. It's got to be quality players.
Mm-hmm. Son, here he is. Son over Salah. Checkpoint. We've got to an hour into the show without saying anything positive. Going strong, Sav. I don't think I've said anything negative either. I think I've been honest. And this is the problem with your age group. You can't say the truth. Give me something, Son over Salah, which isn't just toxic positivity. Because so far today, you've told me Royal's a good right back. You've told me we've got a very good squad. You've told me that Eric Dyer's a very good centre back. You've told me Højbjerg's a top midfielder. It's constant. That's why no one can believe a word you say, because you don't actually have an opinion on anyone. You just like everyone. Dave Clark, the Geordie fan. Savva, what did I say? The Geordies will sort you out, and we did. The sleeping giant is awake. We are no longer the laughing stock. We are coming for everybody. Toon, black and white army.
Fair play,
I mean,
fair play.
Yeah. Do you know what, Dave? Pete, did you watch the Newcastle Arsenal game last night?
Oh yeah, I had my tea towel on my head and everything, mate. And
Yeah.
Going full bow, brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't sure if they'd win or not, Arsenal, but I couldn't imagine in any way, shape, or form that was going to be their performance to try and save Champions League football.
I thought they'd probably get a draw, to be honest, and that was enough for us.
Yeah.
Like Newcastle just all over. I did get a bit worried when Newcastle were hammering off about half an hour and then couldn't even score. And I thought, here we go. But they've done it.
They were so poor, weren't they? Like
dreadful. I think they were
like
like
that.
gas. I think that they were. I mean, you look at January. They didn't buy any players. They're loaning them out, postponing games because they can't fit a squad. They're just killing players. I mean, good. Let make a team and no goals. I got a mate who's a booner, and I said that exact same thing to him. You'll run out of gas, and you can't keep winning games 1-0. It's not sustainable, especially when you've got players, Saka and Smith Rowe, one scoring a goal. Your strikers ain't contributing.
Pete, be careful what you wish for. Begging Levy and Enid to go. The grass isn't always greener. Son of a son, let me tell you this. I'm not begging for them to go.
So is he an Arsenal fan? Is that what you're saying?
No, he's saying that other bloke was an Arsenal fan, saying that Spurs are lucky to have Levy. Son of a Salah, you've not seen any success, which is why you like Levy, right? I'm not begging Levy to go because that's not how it works. You can't just beg a chairman to leave. Would I like him to sell the club? Yes. Would I like him and Lewis to hand the reins to someone else? Yes. I'm not begging for them to go. I just don't think that things are ever going to be glorious whilst they're here. So when you say the grass isn't greener, what you mean we could have another owner and not win anything for another 20 years? Is that what you mean? Right, there we go. So Will, thank you very much for finding that information. So Will said between Son and Kane in the last 2 years, 77 goals in the Premier League. And that's with a game at Norwich to play. I mean, how sensational is that, Pete?
Mental, isn't it? 2 players.
And there you go.
Interesting to know, Will, if you can have a look, who's the next one behind them? I think it's either going to be Lucas or Bergwijn. We're probably, in 2 years, probably I'll be surprised they've got 10. I know Bergwijn probably ain't.
I tell you what, who can find that out for us? In the last 2 seasons, who is the second top goal scorer behind Son and Kane for Spurs? I'm going to hazard a guess that it's going to be
Mora.
I'm going to go with Højbjerg. No, I can't go with Højbjerg.
I remember one against Liverpool and the odd one. I think it'd be Lucas, but it'd be very low numbers.
But doesn't that show how bad the squad is?
Yeah.
That after those 2, there's no one.
No.
Miracle Mile, Chelsea have much higher standards. Yes, they do. Hilsey, I still got that gut feeling about losing at Norwich. What about you?
Through that is, yeah.
Look,
there's always that little bit in there.
Pete, we say it all the time, right? You wouldn't be a Spurs fan, you wouldn't be a proper Spurs fan if there wasn't that 1% inside you that's going, oh, don't be Spursy. Right, let's see. Have we had any more subscribers? I've had one more subscriber since we last talked. Come on, guys. It's almost like it's not worth my effort doing these shows. Let's have a look. Son said, a miracle mile. That's because they've bought every trophy available at the cost of their club's existence.
I'm not going to get into all that.
Okay. Paul, Haaland will flop, but Emerson is doing great for us, this fan base. Paul, that is why I can't take a lot of Spurs fans seriously. They come out with crap like Emerson's a good player, but Haaland will struggle. Baffling. Pete, would you take Rafinha?
Yeah. Squad player all day long.
Yeah. Do you think? Here's one for you. It's a squad game. We all know that. Would you take him? Who would start your first game of the season? Him or Kulu on that right-hand side?
I think you go for a start with Kulu. You stick with what you got. I think it'd be a great impact sub. Do you know what I mean? But
that question
to force their way in, isn't it? If they're good enough, they'll start.
Fair enough. That question to all of you in the comments. If we had both players, who starts? There's an interesting question. But I would have both. Daryl Denton has said, fans want to keep players now after a few good games. This fan base rewards mediocrity. I want this on a T-shirt. Pete, how many times have we seen it, even in our WhatsApp group? Mm-hmm. Ben Davies has half a decent game, and all of a sudden we go, oh, this is why he's so important to the club. He's a great player, blah, blah. For the next 10 games, it's, oh, my God, Ben Davies has been here for 8 years. He's crap, blah, blah. Every player, right?
Yeah. No consistency there. It's either one or the other. Make your mind up.
I can't agree more. Will Stewart has said, who else is disappointed the World Cup is not in the summer? Can I just vote for everyone to say, yeah.
Shit,
yeah, it's not good. And Liverpool, I've seen, have taken the lead at Southampton. Here's one for you. How about taking Alan Saint-Maximin, Pete?
All day long.
Yeah?
He's the player that when you get the ball, you get off your seat because you know something's going to happen. We used to have those players. We don't so much anymore, but there's sort of a wild card player who can just do anything. You don't know what he's going to do. The opposition don't know what he's going to do. But he's a threat. He's a pacey, skillful threat, especially the way we play on a counter-attack. You need a player like that who can carry the ball past 3 or 4 players and open out the game.
Yep. There you go. What are your feelings on Conte staying?
I don't know. Honestly, we'll find out soon enough. But that's got to be the first thing before we do anything else.
Yep.
That has to be nailed down. I think he'll stay. Where's he going to go? Let's be honest. Where's he going to go?
I agree with you.
All the other clubs have got managers. PSG thing. To be honest, is that an achievement going and winning the French league? That you could put anyone in the PSG team and normally win it. Even Poch has won it now. Do you know what I mean? It's not an achievement. I think he's got more self-respect than that. He's done it, Italy.
Yep.
I mean, if he wins something with us, he's achieved something.
Yep. Agreed.
He's done what no one else can do.
Zolo Golo said, what do you think Arsenal needs to do to challenge? I mean, when we say the word challenge, are we talking challenge for titles? Because if we're talking titles, then they are, like us, they are a million miles away. No one is challenging for a title outside of the top 2 for me for a long, long time. Unless Chelsea sort their ownership out and then go and spend big again. I can't.
Hopefully, whatever they don't do. But what I will say, they have been spending money, which is more than what we've been doing.
Tom55 has said, we better attack the fuck out of Norwich. I don't want to go there with any half-hearted, sit back, hit them on the counter nonsense. Go there, score a couple of early goals, get this game put to bed, and let's get top 4 and let's just have a summer where we have no excuses.
I don't think it'll be like that. I think they'll come at us. I think we'll just do what we normally do. Just be clinical on the day. Don't get involved in the emotion. We only need a draw. I'm not saying play for a draw, but don't need to risk anything. We still got Emerson Royal on the pitch, Sanchez on the pitch. We never take too many chances with them. Chuckle brothers.
Apparently, we could potentially go into administration like a certain other club in London. I mean, I don't know. These young kids don't seem to know anything about anything, do they?
Well, I remember getting told that in the summer when I was questioning why we celebrating saving 90 in the transfer on the wage bill, and it was we can end up Barcelona, we can end up like Leeds, and it's just they're really extreme cases. It's extreme cases.
Here you go, Pete. Bale in 13 appearances has more goals than anyone else over 2 years, aside from Kane and Son.
I forgot about him.
Does that not tell you though, when people are telling me that we're not a two-man squad, that it's a player that's not even been here for 2 years, right? And after that, his own goals. I mean, it's really, really embarrassing. Let's have a look. Any questions? Get your last questions in. We've got 10 minutes left. Rafinha is most likely going to go to Barcelona. I mean, there's lots of reports linking them with him. I think he's got is it an 18 or 20 million clause? I mean, that's great business, isn't it? Let's have a look. Twan55 has said, anyone who was Spurs in 2012 and isn't a bit scared isn't a true Tottenham supporter, and Lasagna Gate and 2005, etc. This is the thing we remember. Fans remember Twan55. We remember. I do think we'll spank Norwich, but there's always that little bit of me until we get that first goal.
Yeah, I think it'll be a basketball game. They'll come at us and we'll just go, okay, and we'll just be too clinical, and then just every time we get on to them, we score 1 out of 2 chances. It would just be one of them games.
There's one for you, Pete. I genuinely think players like Lingard, Tarkowski and Rafinha, who would be free or cheap, would be well beaters under a manager like Conte. I mean, I'd take all 3 in the squad to bulk it out. I don't know about you.
Tarkowski, definitely. I think that's a no-brainer for me. We need a centre-half that just eats and shits defending. He puts his head on everything, doesn't care. I'm not interested in can he bring the ball out and all that bollocks. He just wants to defend. That's what we need. We need a warrior in there. I mean, they're all warriors in their own right, but he's good in the air as well. Them games where you know you're going to get tested in the air, that's where we normally concede. We need a player like that who just gets his head on everything. Lingard, you probably have him in the squad. I don't think it's been a bad year for him. He didn't really carry on his momentum from last year, but he probably should stay at West Ham.
Pete, I need to ask you about this. I'm sorry. This narrative that Emerson has shown up at the business end of the season. I heard that he played well against Burnley, and I thought he was absolutely awful. His passing and his touch and his cross and everything is woeful. I thought against Arsenal, again, how many times the move breaks down on him on the right-hand side because he's got zero quality. But he runs up and down a lot and beats his chest, and our fans go, oh, hang on, there's a player in there. That, for me, Pete, that shows our ambition.
It's like Sissoko all over again, isn't it? He's become like a mascot in a way.
Yeah.
The Emerson comp and all this crap, and his revival I've heard about. And what has he done? I've not seen any assists or anything like that. All he's done is not get roasted. And let's be honest, Martinelli had him on toast in the early part of that game on Thursday. It's only because they got a man sent off because he was skinning him alive.
Here we go. My stalker has arrived, Pete. It's a bit later than we thought.
Yeah.
But he has arrived, still harassing girls and begging for nudes and FaceTimes. I think it's very cute that you come and follow my show after we rowed, 5, 6, 7 years ago. But thank you. Keep posting. Fucking hell. Let's block that person. Anyway, Coach Silver, we need 10 players, as I said earlier, but think we'll get 3 to 4 first team and 1 to 2 squad players. If we do that every year, we will progress and learn from our mistakes. Yes.
Yeah, it's not all going to get done in one window. That's just it. with our back, the back three next year, you're going to have to add probably a left centre back, but you're still going to keep that back three because you've got to have continuity. You can't just rip it all up, especially if you're going to change the wing backs. You can't change it all because you need continuity there. You need to bring one left centre back in, left side, and then gently bleed him in, change the full backs, but you've still got to have Dyer, Romero and Davies in and around because it's the way it goes. You can't change it like that.
Agreed. Absolutely. What I would say to that is lots of people say, oh, it won't happen in one window, and it won't. But for me, it shouldn't be the same because we've had plenty of windows to address this. Yeah. We've had so many windows. Let's have a look. Would you guys have taken Bale back last summer? Not for me. He can't run.
No, that ship's run now.
He can't run, and he's never ever fit. Thank you, Premier Hotspur TV. Great show, guys. Top channel. Make sure to subscribe. Yeah, please subscribe. I see a lot of you in the chat, but not many people subscribing, which makes me feel a little bit sad. But thank you anyway. Matt Brenguzzi, I love it. Bring on leader like Bale would be a statement signing. It shows how serious Levy is about. I mean, why would we buy a player that has played 2 games of football all year? I don't understand wanting him back anymore.
He's a quiet character. He's not that personality.
I agree.
He's not a leader. I mean, he does well for Wales, but that's a different sort of passion for him. But in the club, he's never been a leader.
Savva, what annoys me about you is that we have a world-class squad and we achieved our aim of top 4, but you want the players out.
Who's world-class then?
I think that's tongue-in-cheek. The fact that you used world-class squad is tongue-in-cheek. Let's have a look. We're going to go for another few minutes. Bale is not a statement signing. I agree. This isn't years ago.
Again.
Sav showing up is relative. Well, it is, but here you go. You have an agenda. Emerson is really stepping up.
No.
Again, son over Salah. Tell me, what's he done in those games? Watch him pass a ball. It's embarrassing.
Is the bar that low? Is the bar that low where he just doesn't get roasted one week and
he's terrible?
Is the bar that low? People really have low bars. This is why we've got what we get. Because now he's sort of becoming a cult hero among the fan base. So then they go, oh, we might keep him.
They're all coming out to play now, Pete. Look, they're all coming out to play. Emerson is on his way to becoming a world-class right back. And there you go. You know that you've got someone with no...
about that is the first 4 words is that Emerson is on his way somewhere else.
Glenn, yes, Emerson would look shit at Power League. What I don't get about Emerson, Glenn, is his positional sense seems all over the shop. His passing...
Can't pass ball 5 yards.
He can't pass the ball 5 yards properly. He can't cross a football to save his life. Have you seen him when he gets in the box? His shooting is like me or you trying to slice a ball in a Sunday league game. Will has got it right. Yep. Emerson has not showed up for anything. PB and Jam, stop using labelling people terms because you can't back yourself with actual opinions. Do you know what? This is the thing for me, PB and Jam. I'm all great to have a debate with anyone about football. But when people don't debate and they just say things like, you've got an agenda, it means they've got no backup. So what I would say is, can any of the trolls, so we'll go with Matt Brenguzzi, we'll go with Son over Salah, can any of them actually give an answer with a justification as to what Emerson Royal does that's good? Yeah, give me some info. I'm not saying keep him, just saying he's been above Pony, maybe Mule. Mate, listen,
donkey,
I think he's one of the worst players I've ever seen in a Spurs shirt. He is dreadful. It is embarrassing. If you use world class and Emerson in the same sentence, you need an eye doctor. Yes, Will, that is completely true. You do need an eye doctor. Yes, you do. Let's have a look. Daryl Denton has said, Dyer runs into the crowd to start a fight, but turns his back on the ball coming at him. You can't make it up. Right, Daryl. I said this on my show last week about Eric Dyer when I was being told how good he was. And I said, he's okay, but you watch him. When a player goes to shoot, he turns his back every single time. What happened to centre-halves?
Of letting the ball, when he's run across the face of goal. There's been a few times he's done that. Remember Leeds last season where instead of blocking it, he lets it go across him, and then the geezer's there at the back post tap it in. He's got an annoying habit of doing that as well. But I agree. Yep. But in the day, he's good in a 3. You put him in a 2, he's dreadful.
I agree.
Can you imagine him last night in that game when we had a 2, like Callum Wilson running at him, balls over the top? It'd be a nightmare. He's got to be in a 3.
I love this from Will. Yeah, I have an agenda for actual good footballers. That's why I don't like Emerson. Right. Mustafa, welcome. I agree. A statement signing is someone like Bastoni. Yes. Not Gareth Bale now. This is a man that's managed to play 2 league games all season. I don't even think he played 90 minutes in them.
Can't let that go.
There we go. Bale was fantastic for us. Bale did a job against some lesser teams, but Bale was never fit. Bale was never, ever fit, and you could see he couldn't run. Otherwise, Real Madrid would play him for the last 3 years.
Now, I would have Bale, if we would have stayed, I would have been all right with that for the same reason. Against the bottom half of the team, he will pump them, and then you can do a bit of rotation, and he gets you goals against them and wins points. But to let him go for a year and then try and bring him back again is a no.
Oh, God, no. Right, Max Aarons, we're being asked, would you take him?
Too small for me. I think that's been done and dusted. Not good enough.
Yeah, not good enough for me. Emerson improving on Emerson is like moving from the ICU to critical care. Matt Wenguzi is definitely the same person as Son over Salah. Just the presence of Gareth in that dressing room will be good. He has that aura that no other signing can have.
No.
I mean, where do these fans make this crap up from?
I don't know.
Son over Salah. Emerson has all the attributes to become a brilliant fullback. Needs a bit of adjustment, but he's starting to get to grips. Okay, you haven't answered my question. What are those attributes? Because he can't pass.
Can't run.
He can't run properly. His positioning is awful. He can't shoot. He can't cross. What are these attributes?
He gets skinned easily.
Yeah, free the right side. Whoever doesn't agree with Savva is a troll. No. There are a lot of people that I've disagreed with in this chat. Look at Will and I. Will, you'll back me up for this. When Will and I are on a podcast together, we disagree on lots of things. But the problem is you guys never actually come out with a opinion. You just think everyone is wonderful at Spurs. And that's great, but some of us live in the real world. Son of a Salah with the league. I don't know what that means. Stuart Austin has said Emerson can't pass the ball past an opposition player from 2 meters. He's dreadful. I do like it. I do like whenever we get on the Emerson Royal debate. This is Pete. If ever there was a player that, when being talked about, it told me whose football opinion I can rate and whose I can't. The people that rate Emerson Royal, I know never to listen to about a good player.
Probably the same people. Sissoko's a goat and all that shit.
Oh God, yeah, they use the word goat. Will's right. He doesn't have any attributes. Through the right side, Matt, you think Bale is a leader? He's a leader of the physio's room and golf course. Well worth 500 quid a week, 500k a week. Yeah. Can we please get over Son on the show? Can we please listen, Dave? I have asked Son over Salah time and time again. He's not allowed. His parents haven't written him a permission slip to come on.
One of them slips, isn't it, with a school letter? Yeah.
He's been a part of 3 big wins at the end of the season. A second choice played out of position. I want him moved on. Just think he's been better. Just saying the bloke's improved. I don't think I don't see it. I don't see what he's done. I think he is dreadful. Here we go. He's back. Imagine thinking Dyer is average. Right. Human has said, hello, Human. Levy has no option but to back Conte. Time to stop being Tottenham Hotspur estate agents and become a football club. Love your honesty, Savva. Been gripped all season. Thank you. Come on, you Spurs. Well, thank you very much. Matt Wenguzi is back. What a nice thing to say about a club legend. Classy as always. Right. Listen, Gareth Bale is a club legend for the time he was here. Gareth Bale now is not that Gareth Bale. I don't understand. I think Pete's had to drop off, but we'll go for a little bit longer. No, I don't want Gareth Bale back. No. Gareth Bale had, guys. Are we this stupid? How many games has he been fit for this season, and the season before, and the season before that? And you guys want to buy him? It's just embarrassing. We can get Barella. I mean, I don't think we can, but that is the sort of player. That's the statement. Get a Barella. Get a player like Barella. Through the right side, Dyer is dog shit. What a coward and back turner. He did it on Sunday when Barnes hit the post. Yep. He stood off, doesn't care about shots. Yep. Just turn your back with his hands behind his back is great defending. Listen, through the right side, that's exactly it. Fans don't watch the games. I'm sure they don't. They just see that we've won and think everyone's been good. And he's back. Pete is back. Pete, you're back. I thought you had to go. I thought you left us. And you're mute. Here we go. I would pay 75 million for Nicolo Barella. Mate, I'd pay whatever it takes. That's the sort of player you want. You back, Pete?
Yeah, I don't know there.
Next season, Royal's going to be brilliant. I'm just impatient. No, I just have eyes that work, I'm afraid, son of a seller.
Expectations that you buy a player for 30 million, at least got to be semi-decent.
Let's have a look at this, right? So I'm hearing that Højbjerg's going to play every game next year, and he's brilliant. Dyer's brilliant. Emerson Royal's going to be brilliant. I'm sure you probably think Sessegnon's a good player as well. So we're going to go into the Champions League with Royal, Sessegnon, Dyer, Højbjerg, Ben David. Why buy anyone? Let's not buy anyone. Let's just go with the squad we've got. Matthew Craig and Scarlett, they can all play in the Champions League. Our fans. Absolutely. Get any more questions you want in. I'm not going to go for too much longer tonight. Now, this one, I don't agree with this because I'm watching Ericsson play for Brentford and he's running the show. His passing is brilliant. He can play as a playmaker or deep lying in the central midfield. He's on a free transfer and he's fit. I don't see the negative to that signing.
And it gives us something we don't have. No, it gives us something we don't have. Creativity. I was questioning before. I thought, let him see what he does. He's come to the league. He's not looked out of place. He's probably helped Brentford survive. He's still got it. So why not? As you say, he's free. It's a no-brainer.
Right, here we go. Do you agree with Will? Emerson can't pass. Tick. He can't shoot. Tick. He can't cross. Tick. He can't dribble. Tick. He can't run. Can't 1v1 mark. All he can do is dive and head a ball because he is tall. Yep, on his way to world class. Absolutely.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He doesn't even look like an athlete. Like the way he runs. I mean, that was a bit rich coming out of me, but he looks like he's like needs a bit of WD-40 sprayed on his legs, and then he can get going again. He looks like he's like a Tin Man out of Wizard of Oz.
Oh mate, yeah, it's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. But again, as I've always said to you, Pete, if we've got fans that genuinely rate players like Sessegnon and Royal, then they've got the team and the club they deserve, right?
He made Matt Doherty look mustard, put it that way. Look at what the drop down in between Matt Doherty now. We're begging for him to come back.
I miss Matt Doherty. That says it all.
Yeah.
That says it all. It is funny. I do find it funny. Let's have a look. Who's that? Don't want action back. By getting Bale, we would win cups, charity, professional footballer cups. But hey, a cup is a cup.
Yeah,
right, okay.
Mate, that's about it. Yeah.
Bale has no legs. He only wants to play for Wales. What would be a waste? Agreed.
Yeah, he just wants the World Cup and then he's going to knock it on the head.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I'm gonna bring up Gareth Bale. So I presume he's still a professional footballer. He plays for Real Madrid. Let's have a look at Gareth Bale. Here we go. Gareth Bale this season. right, has managed to get on the pitch 5 times. And it's the last day of the season next week. The last time he played over 30 games in a season, do you know when it was, Pete?
30 games.
Over 30 games in a season. He's managed it once in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years.
Probably for us, wasn't it?
Not far off, 2014, 2015 for Madrid. Since then, he's not managed over 30 games in a season. He's not managed over 20 games in a season for 3 years. It's this over this.
Yeah, if he was a leader and had a real character to him, then I'd bring him in for the presence. But he's not. He's a quiet lad. Anyone who's ever managed him said he's a quiet boy. He's not. He's not one of them vocal people, and that's what you need if you're going to get a player like that.
Oh, madness. Ron, what's up to you, my friend? How are you? Are you well? Right. Can you please put in the comments if you have subscribed? I've only got another 2 subscribers since I last asked. This I agree with. Free the right side. Son of a seller, I give you this. You're a pro troll. You are the Emerson Royal of trolls. Yes, you are. Right, Daryl, again, yeah, Emerson Royal in the Champions League. I can't see it. If Conte doesn't buy a right wing back, I will cry.
Or something like that.
Oh, mate, can you imagine?
Outline on a pitch where he used to be because he was killed.
So I get this a lot, right? Forget that Son of a Salah asked this. I get this a lot. I always get told my opinions are agenda driven. Pete, let me ask you this. What possible reason could I have for not wanting these crap players to be better than they are? So when I say, I think Dyer's average, when I say Harry Winks is shit, when I say Sessegnon and Royal are shit, what possible reason could I have to have an agenda against them?
I mean, I'm of the same opinions as you on them players. There is an agenda at play, but it's an agenda to be better than what we are, to want more. That's the agenda, to go, well, this ain't good enough. We need better. We deserve better. We pay the most. I don't go to games anymore, but we pay the most, fans as a fan base pay the most money in Europe. We deserve better than what we're getting. The manager deserves better. The rest of the players deserve better. Kane deserves to have better players around him. So does Son. These players could end up leaving the club after years of service and winning nothing.
Your voice is going to, your thing's going to crackly, mate. I'm seeing lots of comments about Eriksen, which show me clearly people have not watched Brentford play. So I've seen, you can't say Bale can't run, but Eriksen has had a heart attack, right? You do know he's had a he's had a stent put in his heart, right? You understand how that works, son over Salah. Don't tell me you didn't go to school.
Surely he played operation.
Eriksen clearly won't be the same. You've not watched him this season. Eriksen was poor in his last season. His attitude was wrong. Okay, but his attitude was wrong because he'd asked to leave and he'd already said he wasn't signing a new contract. But since the heart attack, it looks like he's got a new lease for life. For me, that's a no-brainer.
If he wants to come, if he doesn't want to come, then no. But if he wants to come, I mean, he went to Italy, didn't enjoy it that much, let's be honest. He had trouble there. If he wants to come back, then by all means, because it's free. Yeah, I'd even pay a little bit of money for him if he was available for like 10, 15 million, because his quality is there. He's proven his fitness. He might have had a heart attack, but he's still fit and Bale.
Well, this is what makes me laugh. It's like Eriksen has done well at Brentford. I agree, but perhaps that's his level. What I don't get about this is, have you seen how much our squad is crying out for creative footballers that can pass a ball? Yes, Basuma's a good player. Basuma's not the same player as Eriksen, though. I don't see how that's a thing. Surely you'd want them both in the team, wouldn't you?
So what we're saying, that Brighton is only Basuma's level by that argument.
Lower
down the league.
I don't understand.
He's at that level. He's made a sensible move, gone to a club like Brentford to get him, see if he can do it. It's a sensible move, and it's paid dividends for him and for Brentford. Since then, they were struggling, and he come in and then he turned them around. Yeah.
Can you imagine this? Imagine Emerson against Mbappe or Vinicius Jr. Oh my God!
He's going to give Carl Walker a run for his money. Imagine what he can do to him.
Oh God!
That'd be like.
It really is worrying. I've said this for years. It is, Pete. Yeah, your microphone's not working, by the way.
Oh, shit, sorry, man.
No, son of a Salah. Matt Doherty won't be the right wing back either. If Conte really wants us to play wing backs, he's going to buy 2 proper wing backs. Sorry, that's got to be it. Eriksen wouldn't cope with Conte's fitness regime. Why? Why? What? Because he's had a heart attack. This is funny, right? Okay, so not this. Brentford have been quality since Eriksen joined. They were heading for relegation, right?
Exactly.
Now, Ken 11. This goes to show that people don't watch games because my friend is actually a season ticket holder at Brentford, and he said he was worried about Eriksen coming. He said since Eriksen has joined, they've been a different outfit, and everything they do goes through him.
And Tony's scoring now because of Eriksen.
Yep.
Putting the balls in.
Yep. Here's one. I love this guy. We have Benton now, who's the creative player.
Oh,
I haven't seen Bentancur create anything. I think he stays at Brentford, half the squad there. Listen, if he stays there, great. But all I'm saying is, Will, we're meant to be going into the Champions League. We need a squad of players, and we haven't got a creative bone in our squad. Apart from Kane, I don't think we've got anyone who can play make. I don't understand why we wouldn't want him back. It's baffling. But Emerson Royal's a good player.
It's good business. That's
Right.
Back
True.
Nostalgia. Eriksen's good business.
Yeah. Let's see. Ron has said, right, I'm going to go until 2 hours. So Pete, feel free if you want to stay on. If you want to drop off, I won't be offended.
Right, we'll keep going.
Ron has said, I take Eriksen. We need someone in the midfield who can pass like Kane to Kane and Son. It's a no-brainer.
Nice.
It's a no-brainer. And then maybe Kane can play as a striker, Pete.
Yeah, and try and get Anna Shearer's record like he wants to. I'm sure he's tired of doing 2 people's jobs.
Yeah. Right. My mate, son of a Salah, you do realise he's fit and healthy, and the doctors have signed him off to play, and he's played, I think, every game since he started and has looked very good.
He's not good enough. He's not fit enough, and you can never get insurance for him.
Oh, Coach Silver, absolutely, mate. Listen, I respect. Listen, we don't often disagree, me and you, my friend. It's okay to disagree. There's no agendas. There's no hate. It's okay. It's okay. Let's have a look. I subscribed on here back when you first restarted the other week. You're definitely one of the top Spurs streamers and speak logic. Too many deluded fans. Plus, you love the old players I mentioned too. Adam, do you know what? I just try to be honest, right? I've never been one that follows the crowd. I've never been one that just says everything is great because I support Tottenham Hotspur. And unfortunately, we have too many of these younger fans now that have grown up with this. It's just the taking part. And, oh, did you see the 90s, they say? Do you want to go back to the 90s when they weren't even around in the 90s or the 80s, you know, the eras when we won trophies. So thank you. I do appreciate that. Let's have a look. Matt Branguzzi. And listen, everyone gets their comments read out. I'm fair like that. Next season, Emerson will show his doubters his quality in the Champions League against the best attackers. Troll.
Maybe he will, but hopefully it won't be for us.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't ever want to see him in a Spurs shirt. Eriksen wouldn't cope in a double pivot anyway. He would get bullied. Oh, shut up. He's such a bad... His takes are so bad. Eugene Thompson, we're full of holding midfielders. We need to get at least one world-class creative midfielder. Eugene, for sure. And if we're going to play Champions League and twice a week and all the cups, we need a couple.
I mean, that pivot, that's just saying, well, we're only going to play one way for the rest of our days, so I can't. You need to have variation in the squad. So you want to put a 3 in, you put a 3 in certain games. If you want to change it during the game, we have to, because he hasn't done it because we haven't really got the tools to do it.
Agreed. Toxic Headshot has said, Eriksen will join Savva. Trust me. Eriksen knows Kane and Son's movement. I agree. It's a no-brainer. Look, I'm not a fan of bringing players back normally. And I think we talked about this in our group, Pete, when Eriksen was rejoining Brentford and people were saying, would you take him? For me, I think I would have at the time because we didn't have any creative spark. But I think we all said, let's see what he does at Brentford. And when I watch him play for Brentford, his passing is a joy. You know, the way he spreads play, the way he comes deep, collects the ball, right foot, left foot. I think he's a joy to watch.
Top player. To be honest, I thought if it goes wrong, he'll do 6 months at Brentford, realise he can't do it anymore, it's not for him, and then just for his own health benefits, knock it on the head. But he's actually proved otherwise. So, I mean, I guarantee he's monitored very closely. You know what I mean? Very closely. So it's not as if it's a shot in the dark.
Yeah. Would we take a punt on Spence?
Yeah, but not as a main thing. He's got to be part of the squad.
Yep, I agree. I'll tell you what, he's 10 times the player Emerson Royal is. Miracle Mile. Now, here's something I don't understand. When people say, like, Conte usually plays with wing backs and a double pivot, don't think a number 10 suits his system. In my opinion, you need to create from somewhere else. But surely you've got to have options. So when Conte was at Inter Milan, he had Eriksen there, like options. So you can play 3-4-3. You can play 3-4-1-2. You can chuck players on when you're losing games and create. I've never understood that you can't have a playmaker because you play wing backs.
Eriksen can play in a wider position and come in like he used to. Like Son does. I mean, they're not. Kulusevski comes inside. They're not out and out wingers. They join in.
Matt Buenguzzi, Savva, why would you want Eriksen over Bale? Well, one can run and hasn't missed like 3 years of football, and the other one has. Eriksen publicly said he wanted to leave the club in the Amazon documentary for the world to see. If we were bringing Eriksen back, bring Dele back. I'm sorry, you've got to be some sort of special person here, haven't you? Eriksen said he wanted to leave the club, right? Eriksen told the club a year before he left, I'm not signing a contract. We had the chance to sell him and didn't because we're so bad at business. Gareth Bale left the club.
Twice.
Gareth Bale refused to train when he was leaving the club. I mean, I don't care about things like that, but what a weird thing to say.
Let's be honest. If Bale wanted to stay, we could have made it happen. Because Richard didn't want him. They didn't want him near the place. They didn't want him riding past the training ground on a bike. But they had to take him back because he's under contract. But we could have kept him, and he could have done whatever had seen at his last year. They were happy for that, but he didn't want to do it.
So here we go. Would you take Jesus and Sterling if they both leave?
Yeah.
Me too. No, again, what people will say is, Jesus. Again, I want a squad.
And Jesus can play on the right and he can play up front. He can do both positions. So you've got a bit of variation there.
Pep Guardiola has trusted that guy for years, playing either off the left, off the right, up front. He's been a good professional for them. I think he'd be a great player to have in a squad.
I'm not Sterling's biggest fan personally, but I'd have him in the squad.
I agree. I don't think he sets the world alight, but I also think that when our other option is Dane Scarlett, OB has said we're really lucky Kane hasn't picked up one of those ankle injuries. I agree.
We said that earlier, didn't we?
I agree, absolutely. Bet Windy Spurs still wants Poch back. Well, Windy Spurs made the famous quote, didn't he? I don't know the bloke, but I think he made the famous quote that he'd rather win nothing under Poch than 10 trophies under Mourinho.
10 trophies for Poch for the time under Poch.
Yeah, and that tells you about our fan base mentality. Here we go. Oh, the register midfield. Jesus, Conte wants two players. Tell me this: why did he take him? Why did he have him at Inter?
How does he know?
No, I know. Yeah, apparently he works for Conte and Spurs. This kid.
Yeah.
Here you go. Premier Hotspur TV. End of the day, this club now has to follow Liverpool's blueprint when they went out and got 3 or 4 top players, and the rest was history. Yep.
Yeah.
Been calling for that for years. Premier Hotspur TV.
Do you know what? This will upset, especially your mates on over Salah. That may involve selling a player for a lot of money. Where with Kane, if they came in offer Kane 150 million, you take it and you rebuild. If someone come in and offered Son, say 110 million for Son, I'll take it. He's pushing 30, you take that money and then you go and you start and you rebuild again, like Liverpool do. That's what started them all off.
Agreed, and this is the thing. Yeah, PB and Jam. Some of them are a different breed. They're not Spurs fans. They don't know enough about the club, and they pretend they know. They pretend they know because they use words from like Football Manager, like register and double pivot. And I mean, come on, football doesn't need to be this complicated. I think the thing for me, the thing for me, Pete, is top managers should be able to be flexible with formations. Top managers want top players at their club. They want multiple top players so they can flex and change and not be rigid. Isn't that the case?
Well, you'd like to think so, because you need to set up for not every opposition offers you the same type of challenge. So you need to sometimes match it. You need to change to suit the occasion. You get injuries. Things happen.
See, look, this is what you get. Jesus and Sterling wouldn't sit on the bench.
Fuck off, mate.
He's a troll. He's a troll. Sterling's a no-brainer for me. Yeah, Sterling, a multiple trophy winner with 10 years experience in the Premier League, scores how many goals every season? Now, Pete, you know this from our group. I'm not a lover of Sterling.
No, I'm not his biggest fan.
Right? But it's a no-brainer of a signing.
Yeah.
I just don't...
Yeah.
I don't understand. Our fans want an 11. I don't understand it.
Had that and it never done nothing, because as soon as you flake that, chip away at it, there's nothing underneath.
Yeah.
You need a squad. You need competition for places. That's why Ericsson drifted away. He was poor the last few years. That's why Dele Alli went the way he did, because they never compete for their time, for their places.
Yeah. Guys, get your last comments in. We are going to go for 3 more minutes. Pete, before we go, let me just ask you. Top 4, yes or no?
Yes.
Son, Golden Boot, yes or no?
Yes.
He needs 2 to get the Golden Boot. 1 to draw with Salah, 2 to win it.
I'm not interested in letting him take a penalty shit. If the game's 3-4-0, then yeah, but I don't care. But if the game is still in the balance, no. Kane takes that and buries that shit.
Yep. Okay. In the summer, Kane, Son, Conte, all in next year?
I'm going to go with yeah. I'm going to be optimistic for once.
Okay.
I've been bitten before, but you can't keep not being. You've got to have a go, I suppose. You've got to roll the dice.
Next season, when we start the season, will Lo Celso and Ndombele be Tottenham Hotspur players?
I think the Celso won't. I think we'll be able to find someone. I think we could loan him back out again. And Ndombele, I think, will be a problem. We'd have to. We're not going to sell him. I think we have to find some way to loan him back. He ain't exactly ripped up trees at Lyon. I don't think they'll be begging for him back. I don't follow the French league much, but not from what I've seen or read. So it's finding someone. His value's only going down, but not in Levy's eyes, because that's how much he's paid for him. But in terms of what he's worth, it's sinking like a stone. I'd take any money you can for him and just get rid of him.
Pete, do you want? Sometimes when you just have to look and laugh. These sort of comments used to make me angry, but now they just make me laugh with how childish people are. Here we go. I did some research about the older players, like you said. Gaza was a good baller, few tricks, but a raging alcoholic.
Oh, fucking hell, mate.
A good baller, a few tricks. Oh, my God. These aren't Spurs fans, I'm telling you, Pete.
Not football fans either. I don't know what they're doing, but...
Would you go as far to say Gaza is one of the best 3 players that's ever played for Tottenham Hotspur?
Yeah, probably, yeah. He's an unbelievable player. He can
do
anything he likes.
How much would he be worth now?
Oh, fucking hell. He's in easily 150 million. He's range easily. He's his own worst enemy. That was his problem.
Yeah.
Brilliant player. Could do anything he liked. Like Hoddle, could do anything he liked.
And ladies and gentlemen, if we needed any further proof, who the hell is Gaza? Look, here we go. Nostalgia merchant. This is one of the greatest footballers that ever played for Tottenham and England. It's I just son over Salah. I think our time has parted. Look, we're going to end the show now, Pete. But son over Salah, I think our time has parted where you don't need to log into my shows anymore. I think you've proven now that you don't really know anything about football, and you're not a Spurs fan. Yeah, look, like Danny said, if anyone doesn't know Gaza, you should stop supporting Spurs. Matt, go and say that to United fans about George Best. I mean, another one who was
who's best?
Sensational. Anyway, Pete, listen, you've been an absolute legend. Thank you so much for coming on. I know it's your first ever podcast.
Yeah. Pop the cherry, mate.
Sorry, just really quickly, I can't help it. It is your fault you don't know Paul Gascoigne. It is in the record books. There are videos on YouTube. If you know Tottenham Hotspur, please stop saying that you don't know our greatest players from the past. Educate yourself about the club you apparently support.
Go and ask down Tottenham High Road on a match day. But before you do that, learn to duck.
I don't think he's allowed to go to Tottenham and watch games.
I reckon he's doing this because he's not allowed to be on his computer now, so he's alone at his phone, hiding under the sheets.
Yeah, I just find it a shame, Pete, that there are, if they are fans, and it's not. I suppose it's not for me to say if they are or not. I think it's a shame that there are fans that of that age that don't want to take the time to learn about our history. They want to try and educate fans like me and you that Levy's good for the club and look what he's done for us, but yet they don't know about our history. They don't know about the trophies we've won. They don't know about people like Paul Gascoigne. They don't know about David Ginola. They don't know about Glenn Hoddle, Chris Waddle, Ozzy Ardiles, Ricky Villa. You could go on and on and on. It's a shame, and I don't consider them to be fans if they don't want to learn.
All I'd say to them is, if you love the club now, go and get some history videos, and then you'd love the club 10 times more. And you really see what it used to be like.
Can you imagine? I'm not even going to say his name. Can you imagine? Read this comment. Can you imagine Paul Gascoigne in our midfield? Can you imagine that? Paul Gascoigne would be playing week in, week out for Man City or Liverpool or Real Madrid.
Yeah, he'd be one of the big boys for sure.
Oh,
he'd be the ultimate Galactico. He'd do whatever he wanted.
It's embarrassing. I'm going to block Son over Salah now, everyone, because I think he has shown that he's not a Spurs fan, is he? Yeah. But anyway, Pete, listen, thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it. I will catch up with you soon on WhatsApp. Everybody else, thank you very much for watching. Please please subscribe. I really appreciate your time, and I will catch you on another show at the end of the week or at the weekend. Thanks, everyone.
Well done, mate.
See you later.